Hello and welcome. I know, I have been gone for a while, but I did say in my past videos that uploads will be unpredictable at best. But you can yell at me about that later. As for right now, we have a new mecha game hitting the market. I should also disclose a disclaimer, as this is not going to be your run-of-the-mill review. I will speak very critically of the game in question, as I have gotten rather jaded and tired of the current video game market. So expect to hear some tidbits of philosophy along with harsh judgment for every decision made by the devs. If you'd rather not listen to someone speak about the reality of things and just want your dopamine receptors to be tickled by someone glazing the new cool mech game, I will take no offense if you click off the video. But with that out of the way, let's see what we have to work with this time around. I happen to be a competitive player regardless of what video game I play, so I tend to look into the mechanics of a game in depth more so than anything else. This is shown by my prowess and success in Armored Core 6 PvP, where I specialized in playing melee, and I have chosen to play with the Panther unit, as it is the most fitting to what I used to play, so you can expect most of these opinions to fall under the melee umbrella. Not much to say about the monetization of the game, nor the weird mech upgrade parts, as I will sweep it off to the side, in hopes that our beloved CSUN won't show us their prowess of their portfolio with their former gacha game and siphon the ever easy to manipulate mecha fanbase. I won't dwell too much on the visuals or customizations either. The mech designs are sleek, they're unique, and definitely fill the mech pilot void in people's hearts. The painting system is serviceable enough, and the character creator is actually amazingly well made. So good job on that, CSUN! Starting off with the mechanics, we have the much too boring and simplified auto-aim system. I understand that it's part of the mech piloting fantasy, but this does not have to be normalized. It essentially removes a whole entire layer of skill from the shooter part of the actual game, as all you have to do as a pilot is keep the enemy in your line of sight, then hold your buttons. Which very unfortunately also leaks into melee as well, especially badly so when it comes to Panther. I could be anywhere at all and magically fly towards the enemy with my moronic lance ability that stun locks the enemy for the duration depending on how long I charged it. Now, as for the movement in the game, I believe the foundation is solid and fluid enough to be praised to some extent, as they allow omnidirectional dashing to avoid attacks, which also plays into the part of making the game fast-paced as the devs have intended. But unfortunately, this also falls kind of short in some aspects. For one, why does boosting constantly feel insanely unsatisfying after the initial burst? I feel like I slow down to a crawl and have to instead spam it to pick up the pace, which eats away at my energy bar. It's like an inferior assault boost from Armored Core 6. Another thing that I find relatively amusing is how much superior melee thrusting is in this game in comparison to literally every other movement type. I mean, I know we are bolstering the mech pilot fantasy, but from a game balance perspective, this is absolutely goofy. So much potential, yet the practice is so unsatisfying. The time you are stuck in animation after the melee combo seems to be fixed, meaning after you are out of it, you can do anything, such as another melee combo. You have no realistic reason, at least in a 1v1 scenario, to do any cool cancels and keep attacking when you can just eat someone's health bar by mashing the button. The tech for melee in this game is that you can dash while melee charging, which is entirely pointless as it's so janky and jarringly unsatisfying. You will more than likely miss your target for the sake of dodging an attack, and it's also really horrible for your energy consumption, because you get no real reward from circling someone when you are better off just mashing away at them, since it seems to interrupt their inputs for a small while. I just don't understand why there is so much potential for fluidity, but it's all locked behind the janky fixed animations. I don't have much else to say for the other mechs. They all have their unique playstyles and quirks, but I find them uninteresting considering most of their kit is automated and has very little engagement thanks to the auto-aim system the game so generously provides. Also, I will not mention the sniper units, as it's not a valid argument to say play this one unit and your problems are fixed, when it's a general design issue across the board. So, now that we're over with that, I can get to the best part of the whole video. Judgement! Tell me, Mecha enjoyer, how much free will do you truly have? How many times have you consciously decided to engage with what you enjoy, when in truth it was your emotional connection to the topic of Mecha altogether? You have been starving no good Mecha games ever since Armored Core 6. Months upon months of hopeful cope welling within your heart, all for it to be expended at the first sight of a Mecha game. To behold this, to allow the clear simplicity and lack of depth to be ignored due to your excitement and emotional charge, what good does it do? To perpetuate this constant cycle of games being born, only to watch them wither away in mere months, and its creators satisfied with the profit they upturned, all born of your emotional dependence to these machines. How much longer can you continue this ignorance, this lack of demand for quality, your very desire mocked, and yet you bite your tongue and allow them to bastardize what you so enjoy for a small profit, only because it had been too long since you last indulged in it, only to perpetuate this cycle once more! Goodness, how remiss of me. To sum it up, I think it is a game that has good foundation to be built upon. My only concern is that people believe this game is genuinely sophisticated and capable of something like a fair and skillful competitive environment. I tire of people's delusions born of cope, and it is okay to accept that a game functions amazingly as a casual game to fulfill one's fantasy, rather than lie to oneself that it is something which it isn't. We, as consumers, should see things for what they are and realistically demand quality, rather than have a good enough mentality, which makes the devs work no harder to perfect their game. I think it will be healthy for the gaming market altogether, not even just Mecha games alone. But ultimately, if you enjoy it, go ahead and play it. Just don't go telling people it's something that it isn't, okay? Alright, thank you for watching, bye bye, bye bye!